world's first flying bike hitting the market. Right now, only available in Japan for about $500,000.
A new era in transportation might be unfolding, and it's coming from a surprising place. A $2,000 flying scooter, rumored to be changing how we think about urban travel, has sparked curiosity worldwide. With the potential to bypass traffic, reduce commute times, and even revolutionize the concept of personal mobility, this futuristic device could soon be soaring through city skies. While details remain under wraps, whispers of its design and capabilities are fueling speculation. Will this affordable flying scooter truly disrupt the way we move around cities, or is it just another piece of speculative tech? One thing's for sure, the future of travel might just look a little more airborne. The quiet revolution. The introduction of BYD's affordable $2,000 flying scooter in Japan highlights Asia's dominant role in shaping the future of personal mobility. Unlike the traditional Western approach that often emphasizes luxury and high-cost innovations, BYD's focus on practicality and affordability makes advanced transportation accessible to the everyday commuter. With an eye on dense urban centers that suffer from severe congestion, BYD's flying scooter offers a solution tailored to both the needs and budgets of regular city dwellers. By moving beyond the high-price, high-performance models seen in Silicon Valley, this product signals a cultural shift towards technology that democratizes mobility. A key feature of this flying scooter is its vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) capability, which enables it to operate within urban spaces without the need for specialized infrastructure. Equipped with electric propulsion, it not only provides a cleaner alternative to traditional vehicles, but also supports sustainability efforts as it aligns with growing global environmental concerns. Its speed of 60 miles per hour and a range of up to 30 miles per charge make it an ideal solution for short-distance urban travel, reshaping what personal transport can look like in crowded cities. Japan seems to be the best launch site for all technology and new innovations for the fact that this country is well known for the adoption of new technology and is challenged with urban planning. More than just a product launch, this flying scooter suggests a move to make Japan a key player in the advancement of next-generation transportation technology. The choice to launch in Japan demonstrates the country's keenness, capacity, and willingness to adopt such innovations with an aim to endow life with tangible benefits, thereby paving the path for others to follow. BYD has thus provided a contemporary answer to urban mobility needs in order to build a sustainable, efficient, and inclusive future. While other Asian firms keep focusing on practical solutions instead of luxury, this casts a bigger trend for personal transportation, favoring accessibility and affordability. The design of the Cyberfold thus advances the idea that technological innovations, affordable and ecologically sound, will support future urban mobility. If there is no commercial value, there simply will not be any environmental value. But that's not all. This flying scooter doesn't just lift off. It's packed with features that could completely redefine your daily commute. Portable flight. The Cyberfold flying scooter represents a paradigm shift in personal mobility, combining the performance of a high-tech flying vehicle with the portability and convenience of a traditional scooter. Its vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) capabilities make it a game-changer for navigating congested urban environments. Unlike conventional ground vehicles, the Cyberfold's ability to lift off and soar over traffic allows commuters to bypass gridlock, making it a time-efficient and reliable alternative for navigating modern cities. This aerial flexibility addresses the growing need for faster, more efficient urban transport solutions, where traffic congestion has become a constant challenge. The Cyberfold is designed to be utterly compact and foldable, which is almost incomparable to the regular e-scooter. With a battery capable of doing up to 150 kilometers on one charge, it is, one might say, high autonomy for those urban commuters who seem to be on the move all day. They would be able to travel without worrying about range anxiety on how far they could go before needing to charge again. Another feature is the foldability, making it easy for consumers to store the scooter within very confined living areas or bring it on board with them while using public transportation. This represents the ideal person who lives in a tight space in his apartment or needs something flexible without taking up much volume. The Cyberfold is designed to be portable, but its durability and comfort are equally important. Off-road tires and advanced suspension enable travel on all types of terrain, allowing smooth travel on rough surfaces. An efficient cooling system that works in sync with the vehicle keeps it from thermal degradation and guarantees performance even on long-distance or heavy-duty rides. These characteristics propel the Cyberfold from being a mere concept into a practical, everyday solution for modern transportation. The Cyberfold thus meditates between traditional ground-based vehicles and future flying technologies. Its audacious design and practical function upgrade commuting and personal transportation, pushing the very edge. By making flying scooters affordable and portable, the Cyberfold sets a precedent for urban mobility in the future, wherein aerial vehicles will blend seamlessly into everyday life, solving modern transport issues. The battery behind the breakthrough. The heart of the Cyberfold flying scooter's breakthrough performance lies in its sophisticated battery system. Equipped with a high-capacity 72 volts, 60 ampere-hours lithium-ion battery, developed by Samsung, the Cyberfold delivers up to 150 kilometers of range on a single charge. This substantial range makes it a viable option for daily commutes in urban settings, providing a sustainable alternative to traditional vehicles. The use of Samsung's advanced battery technology ensures that the Cyberfold is both efficient and reliable, two key factors for any modern electric vehicle. With a 4.3 kilowatt-hours energy capacity, the scooter's battery ensures not only impressive performance but also practicality, giving users the flexibility to travel longer distances without constant recharging. Thermal management constitutes another making or breaking aspect of the Cyberfold's battery system. Electric vehicles, particularly the highly energy-demanding ones like the Cyberfold, are easily compromised due to overheating events, causing damage to battery life and performance. The Cyberfold hosts an extremely engineered cooling system for the running battery, which utilizes air and liquid cooling mechanisms together, so that the battery remains always within an optimum temperature range for longer, immeasurably effective riding even in demanding situations. This cooling system becomes necessary to avoid overheating during longer rides, hence prolonging the use and reliability of such scooters. In addition, incorporating a battery management system, BMS, into Cyberfold's design improves the performance and safety of this model further. This BMS controls all cycles of charging and discharging of the battery and ensures that none happen to end up with a full charge or deep discharge, which will eventually cause battery failure. Besides, it would keep the life of the battery intact while giving extra assurance to the rider that the scooter runs safely. It is an essential safety system, particularly considering the dangers of high-capacity electric batteries, thus providing the rider comfort while riding the Cyberfold for routine use. Each of these technological improvements adds up to a super-efficient and high-performance personal transport in the Cyberfold. Powered by Samsung's high-tech cells, this scooting aircraft integrates an intelligent thermal management system with a nearly infallible battery management system. It is a strong and long-lasting machine, and it is designed to be safe as well. This innovation in battery technology will become the benchmark for the next generations of personal flying vehicles, while Cyberfold would serve as the frame that encases the futuristic urban mobility solution. The price tag that changed everything. The introduction of the Cyberfold flying scooter at a groundbreaking price of $2,000 has made personal aerial mobility more accessible than ever before. Traditionally, aerial mobility solutions like flying cars or drones have been prohibitively expensive, with prices ranging in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Cyberfold's affordable price tag challenges this norm, offering advanced features such as vertical takeoff and landing, VTOL, dual motor systems, and significant range for a fraction of the price. This is a game changer for the personal transportation market, offering a cost-effective option for everyday commuters to experience the future of mobility. When compared to other personal aerial vehicles like the Jetson 1, which is priced at nearly $100,000, the Cyberfold's pricing strategy is revolutionary. The affordability of the Cyberfold allows it to serve not just a luxury market, but a broader consumer base, including middle-class urban residents who may otherwise have never had access to such cutting-edge technology. This democratization of flying vehicles represents a significant shift in how transportation technologies are developed and marketed, making them accessible to a much wider audience. It's not only individual consumers, but also urban architects and transport infrastructure, which would have their implications at the Cyberfold price point. With more people buying into personal flying vehicles, urban areas would require new rules, air traffic management systems, and dedicated landing zones or vertiports to make mobility easy for the new transport system. The affordability of the Cyberfold is that it may serve as a catalyst in further accelerating people toward adopting flying scooters. This scenario could quite possibly make aerial mobility an everyday experience for most people, thereby changing how cities are designed and how people commute. In effect, the $2,000 price tag attached to the Cyberfold not only provides an affordable mode of transport, but rather it significantly signifies a shift in personal mobility. Lowering the price barrier to a lower threshold allows the millions of citizens in densely populated cities worldwide to adopt and integrate cutting-edge mobility technologies as a precursor to further innovations and changes to urban mobility infrastructure. With flying vehicles becoming scalable and less expensive, changes in how we think about and interact with transport within our cities can be expected. From grounded to liftoff, the Cyberfold flying scooter is not just a personal transport solution, it's the key to unlocking the potential of aerial commuting in an increasingly congested world. Unlike traditional electric scooters and e-bikes, the Cyberfold breaks free from the constraints of traffic by incorporating vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) capabilities. This allows users to rise above ground-level congestion, providing a seamless escape from the gridlocked roads that plague most urban areas. By offering an aerial alternative, the Cyberfold represents a shift in the way we think about commuting, turning the airspace above our cities into a viable commuting route. What sets the Cyberfold apart is its ability to provide a full range of functionalities that typical scooters cannot offer. Equipped with powerful dual 4,000 watts motors and a long-range 72 volts, 60 ampere-hours battery, it offers users the ability to cover up to 150 kilometers on a single charge at speeds reaching 60 miles per hour. This performance isn't just about escaping traffic, it's about providing a practical alternative for commuting to suburban areas or covering longer distances. It transforms the way we think about commuting, as it offers greater flexibility than traditional vehicles while overcoming many of the obstacles that come with urban traffic congestion. Another important characteristic of the Cyberfold is its remarkable portability. Conventional scooters, or e-bikes, feel cumbersome and require dedicated parking spots, running the risk of theft if left unattended. By contrast, due to its ability to fold into a neat little package, it can simply be stored in tight spaces and carried with effortless ease, making it ideal for urban areas with good space constraints. Be it hiding away in a small apartment, kept under a desk, or carried up a bus or train, its compactness makes it perfectly convenient for seamless insertion into users' daily lives, with anything bigger becoming an extraneous hindrance. With its economical price point and revolutionary design, the Cyberfold serves as a prototype for the future of urban mobility. Therefore, we are now ushering personal mobility into an entirely new age where the skies matter just as much as the streets, breaking free of classical ground-based commuting. Equating this with the embrace of technologies that redefine conventional solutions for transport, the cyberfold represents not just one more product, but a signpost for what awaits in the bigger transformation toward aerial commuting and the redefinition of personal transport feasibility. Yet, as the skies open up, what challenges will cities face in adapting to this revolutionary change in how we move? The urban impact of personal flight, the rise of the cyberfold flying scooter challenges traditional city planning paradigms and is likely to have a profound impact on urban mobility. With its vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) capabilities, the cyberfold allows users to bypass the congestion that characterizes many urban areas. According to studies, urban air mobility could reduce commute times by up to 60%, particularly during peak hours when road traffic is at its worst. By reducing the strain on city streets and highways, the cyberfold presents a compelling solution to the traffic gridlock that plagues most major cities, potentially transforming daily commutes for millions. However, the widespread adoption of personal aerial vehicles like the cyberfold introduces complex challenges for urban planners. Traditional city infrastructure, designed to accommodate cars, buses, and trains, will need to adapt to include vertical takeoff zones, vertiports, and air traffic management systems. Additionally, there will be a need to develop clear guidelines for how these new vehicles interact with existing modes of transport, such as roads and public transit. These challenges could complicate the integration of flying scooters into city environments, requiring governments to reassess zoning laws, airspace regulations, and even insurance policies to account for the new mode of transport. Beyond the logistical and regulatory facets, one cannot neglect the environmental upheaval that flying scooters may impose on cities. Despite the cyberfold having an eco-friendly electric motor, the power requirement of personal aerial transport may well drain the existing power grids, particularly when implemented in already congested urban areas. Noise pollution, accompanied by a plethora of aerial vehicles, is another full-blown concern. The noise pollution emanating from hundreds of crossing flying scooters hovering above busy cities may well become a nuisance. Hence, innovations in sound-limiting technologies combined with the proper integration of existing noise regulations would become a top priority. The arrival of the cyberfold marks a turning point in the evolution of urban mobility and indeed requires meticulous planning and foresight. As cities edge toward embracing flying machines, policymakers will need to consider the long-term consequences on infrastructure, sustainability, and quality of life. Urban planning must include the early construction of vertiports and the simultaneous establishment of air traffic rules, ensuring that these new transportation solutions improve rather than lessen the ability to lead livable lives in cities. Urban mobility may yet find its solution in air travel, but it will take merging with good design to ease that transition. Regulation breakdown. Cyberfold introduces significant challenges to existing transportation regulations. The vehicle's unique combination of vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) capabilities, along with its dual motor propulsion system, places it at the intersection of both ground-based vehicles and aircraft. While traditional vehicles like cars, scooters, and e-bikes are regulated under road traffic laws, the cyberfold operates in the air, raising questions about its classification within current legal frameworks. This creates a regulatory grey area, as existing laws fail to account for a hybrid vehicle like the cyberfold. In the United States, the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) governs aircraft, but the cyberfold's low-altitude operation and relatively limited flight capabilities may not meet the criteria for traditional airspace regulations. On the other hand, state and local governments regulate road use, yet the cyberfold's ability to fly in addition to driving on the ground makes it difficult to categorize as a conventional road vehicle. This ambiguity highlights the need for new regulatory categories or the modification of existing ones to better accommodate hybrid personal aerial vehicles. Internationally, countries such as Japan are beginning to take up these regulatory challenges, by considering frameworks for urban air mobility. In Japan, the development of personal flying vehicles such as the Cyberfold is being promoted through government efforts to establish laws catering specifically to low-altitude flight. However, other countries are still lacking in this regard, with unclear regulatory paths for these types of vehicles, which may limit global scaling opportunities for technologies such as the Cyberfold. Until regulations become more amenable to the rise of personal aerial mobility, platforms such as the Cyberfold will be stuck in legal limbo, thereby obstructing large-scale adoption. In order for flying scooters, such as the Cyberfold, to be harmoniously integrated into real life, regulators will have to create a balanced framework addressing issues such as safety, air traffic management, and vehicle categorization. We require a clear, orderly set of guidelines that acknowledge the peculiarities of the personal aerial vehicle to create an environment conducive to its safe operation and avoid potential clashes with the existing transportation system. As the technology itself matures, the constitution and regulations pertaining to it also have to meet the standards of the day in order to facilitate further innovations in personal transport. From first mile to last, the Cyberfold flying scooter is quickly proving its value in real-world use cases, offering a versatile solution to personal mobility in urban environments. Its vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) capabilities enable users to bypass traffic, making it an ideal solution for those facing long commutes through congested city streets. Urban dwellers, particularly in cities with gridlock or limited public transport options, are finding the Cyberfold to be an effective way to reduce commute times. The scooter's ability to bypass ground traffic, while offering a practical range of up to 150 kilometers, makes it an attractive alternative for both daily commutes and weekend getaways. Beyond commuting, the Cyberfold has been embraced by recreational users looking to explore areas previously inaccessible by traditional vehicles. Thanks to its impressive battery range, users can embark on spontaneous trips to remote areas like beaches, parks, or hiking trails without worrying about running out of power. This expanded range also makes the Cyberfold ideal for short-distance travel that would normally require a car. It is particularly useful for urbanites who wish to avoid the costs and environmental impact of traditional car travel, but still need to access distant locations. It not only speaks volumes, but also shines light on the last-mile problem, the final stretch burned by commuters after public transportation ends, and they must reach their ultimate destination. Unfolding Cyberfold and walking the distance after disembarking from the bus or train can prove to be an effortless movement. It transforms into a modality not only for avoiding congestion, but also as a key element of a multimodal transportation ecosystem, reducing car dependency while contributing to cleaner and more sustainable urban environments for all. As more and more people have begun to incorporate the use of Cyberfold into their daily lifestyle, cities are beginning to redesign their transport models. People are now using flying scooters in large numbers, which puts pressure on urban planners to think of how best to include these vehicles in the larger transportation infrastructure. He represents a disruptive innovation, indicating a future in which people would see personal flight as accessible and practical for the masses. Adding to the increasing acknowledgement of the Cyberfold's possibilities would be the growing parallelism among cities' planners on the changes brought about by earlier transportation systems. As bicycles and electric scooters over the past few decades have changed the face of mobility within cities, so too will flying scooters such as the Cyberfold change urban life. We are on the cusp of a new phase in urban mobility, one where the skies aren't just for airplanes but for everyday commuters as well, said David Zipper, an expert in transport policy. This further affirms that perhaps flying vehicles could also be brought into the dense urban scenery along with the existing infrastructure. One of them is the potential study on personal air mobility that was done by NASA. This research has identified urban air mobility as an area that could reduce congestion by up to 60% at peak times. thus reinforcing the argument that something modeled like the cyberfold could profoundly influence urban movement. It would thus be the very next phase in our evolutionary progression regarding changing transport systems: the integration of flying scooters, the infrastructure crisis. The rise of personal aerial vehicles like the cyberfold flying scooter is prompting cities worldwide to reassess their infrastructure needs. Traditionally, urban planning has focused on accommodating ground-based transportation, investing heavily in roads, bridges, and public transit systems. However, as personal flight technology becomes more mainstream, cities will need to rethink how they manage and utilize space. The introduction of vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) vehicles, such as the cyberfold, requires new infrastructure elements, such as vertiports, designated landing zones, dedicated aerial lanes, and charging stations tailored for aerial vehicles. Without these innovations, the smooth integration of personal flying vehicles into everyday city life would be nearly impossible. The financial implications of adapting urban infrastructure to accommodate the cyberfold and similar technologies are substantial. City governments may need to divert resources from traditional infrastructure projects to build and maintain these new facilities. Vertiports and air traffic management systems are not only costly, but also require a new approach to urban zoning. In addition, as cities implement more aerial transport, the revenue generated from conventional sources like vehicle registrations and public transportation fares could decline. Municipalities may need to find alternative ways to generate income, such as taxing flying scooters or incorporating aerial vehicles into existing fare systems. Flying scooters bring with them the distortions of a global interject in the current equilibrium between air and ground traffic from a formal perspective. The future of cities will lie in airspace management systems that will provide safe flight paths for low-altitude aerial vehicles. The guidelines and infrastructure will allow the design to include the prevention of collision and cater to the special needs of personal aircraft. Managing a busy sky while allowing the traditional ground traffic would require very sophisticated air traffic control, radar, and communication systems within the vehicles. A well-coordinated synergy of tech companies, urban planners, and government policy will be needed for this. Aerial mobility will likely be a politically hurtful issue among the public. There could also be citizen concerns regarding safety, noise, and risks associated with personal flying vehicles. Politicians and policymakers will have an extremely difficult task of balancing technological advancement and public concern. Introducing a completely new mode of transport will require cities to do more than simply dreaming up flying scooters. The debate around infrastructure, regulations, and safety measures will probably determine how this technology is going to develop into reality. Not only the aspects of technology and logistics, these are part of a larger cultural shift worth considering. Having flying machines integrated into human urban spaces. Cities like Dubai have already invested in vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) technology, pursuing the ambitious Dubai Autonomous Transport Strategy, with a vision of having 25% of all transport in the city autonomous by 2030. These projects provide vital lessons for cities that seek to integrate air mobility within their existing forms of transport. Indeed, many experts feel that such combinations can solve critical issues in cities in terms of such points as traffic and pollution, which especially become relevant in highly populated areas. Over time, as cities become increasingly crammed with growth above the ground, the call from culture and society for more solutions to be in the air becomes the impetus that drives real-world deployment. However, as some cities such as Dubai have already learned, radical changes require not just technical solutions, but also a fundamental rethinking of urban space, public policy, and community involvement. With the future of urban air travel taking flight, cities aren't just building roads, they're preparing for something entirely new. The new frontier of air mobility. The introduction of the cyberfold flying scooter is just the beginning of a broader movement in urban air mobility, UAM, where personal aerial vehicles, PAVs, are poised to redefine the future of transportation. While the Cyberfold offers a compact, accessible option for urban commuting, other companies are pushing the boundaries of personal flight. One example is the Jetson 1, a single-seater electric vertical takeoff and landing eVTOL vehicle. With its 8 electric motors and a range of up to 20 minutes of flight time, the Jetson 1 brings us closer to a world where personal aircraft are within reach for non-professional pilots. Despite its price tag of approximately $98,000, it serves as an inspiration for further innovations in aerial transport. Similarly, in Japan, Kawasaki Heavy Industries is developing the K-Racer X1, an unmanned VTOL aircraft. Unlike the Cyberfold, which is focused on personal mobility, the K-Racer X1 is designed for logistics and emergency response, capable of transporting up to 200 kilograms of cargo over distances of up to 100 kilometers. Powered by a supercharged engine similar to the Ninja H2R motorcycle, this vehicle is part of an effort to revolutionize delivery services and disaster response, showcasing the diverse applications for air mobility beyond personal transportation. So, these vehicles are making rapid progress in air mobility, not only regarding the technology used, but also in the very way personal flying is perceived and implemented. Airborne vehicles such as the Jetson 1 and the Cyberfold will soon become too commonplace to be noted, but they indicate how the lines between transport on the ground and in the air are beginning to converge. That is, it might really not be a question of making cars or trains better, but integrating an entirely new class of vehicles into the urban ecosystem. The converging trends of electric propulsion, lightweight materials, and advanced battery technology will continue to drive some innovation in personal aerial vehicles in the foreseeable future. As the Cyberfold, Jetson 1, and K-Racer X1 pave the way, they are but the first wave of much bigger movements toward fast incorporation of air mobility into everyday life. More advanced and available technologies would surely bang the doors open for more adoptable flying vehicles that might just redefine transport as we know it now. The skies may soon become a vital aspect of urban mobility, providing answers for areas that vehicles cannot. There is quite a bit of hype about Cyberfold, however, we should remember that it is mostly speculation for now. While the idea has gathered attention, there is still no official word from BYD or any other credible source regarding the actual release date of the vehicle or its complete specifications. Just like many other breakthrough technologies, before actual product launches, rumors and excitement circulate. The rumors have hence put fans and the curious onlookers in a state of wondering whether the flying scooter is genuinely around the corner, or whether this is just another fanciful project that would not pass the prototype stage. The tantalizing prospect of the flying scooter as an affordable personal air vehicle should be tempered with caution. The companies involved with urban air mobility, UAM, BYD included, still have to traverse a great many obstacles concerning regulations, infrastructure, and safety standards. Jetson 1 and K-Racer X1 are already being developed. Whether we shall see something like the Cyberfold go commercial and be put to use is another matter. As appealing as the fantasy of flying out of traffic with your tiny folding scooter may sound, the question now is if these futuristic concepts will ever be made into reality in real cities. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this sneak peek into the future of travel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting updates. Got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And make sure to check out the next video on the screen for more amazing content. See you in the next one.